guys! I just wanted to give you guys a big thank you to everyone who liked my video, Girls in Sports Cars. I didn't really think it would get that popular that fast, and I'm really excited about it, and I'm excited that you guys liked it so much. So I want to make this video to say, if you have any more suggestions for what kind of videos I should be making, please tell me, because after I made that video I was thinking maybe like one more video about my car, but since so many people liked it so much, I think that's what I'm going to start doing. So yeah, if you have any ideas about what you want to see, just let me know in the comments below or on my Google Plus page. When I bought my Audi, I was on the major hunt for a sports car. I was looking for a lot of sports cars in the early 2000s. They had to be manuals, they had to be around $10,000 and nearing 100,000 miles, because I couldn't afford anything that was less expensive and had less miles unless I wanted a Kia, which nobody wants. So if you know cars at all, you know the kind of cars that I was looking at in this range. TT, S2000, WRX, Z3, C230 compressor, 350Z, 370Z, because I found a couple that had like damaged parts that I could replace easily that were cheaper. But anyway, and then also an RX-8 and an MR2. So yeah, I had a lot of choices that I was looking at. And from hearing that list, I know what you're probably thinking. She was looking at a WRX? She ended up with a TT? Yes, I did. I know out of all the cars that I've listed, it is indeed the girliest out of all of them, but I am a girl still. As much as I love cars and I'd love to drive all of those, I just was really drawn in by the TT, by all of its specs, by the way it looked especially. And it also happened to be the cheapest one on my list, which was surprising because it's an Audi, and also the insurance was a lot less expensive. The only one that happened to be cheaper was an MR2, and then I found a couple of S2000s that were a bit cheaper. But the reason I ended up with the TT is because all those other cars were just so sharp and masculine, you know? The TT was just so fluid and smooth. But even though that is the case, and I really love the way that they look, it was still the third choice of car on my list. The first ride that I was looking at is a Pontiac Solstice. Probably not many car guys have heard of it because it's not really a car person car. Although it's the manual, it's really the only thing about it. It was a 2007 though, which was nice because it would be newer than all the other ones I was looking at. And they didn't have as many miles, but it's a Pontiac. I don't want to try to bash on Pontiac here, but it's not really a well-built car, and I've seen reviews on it that were just kind of ish, and then I've actually seen one, you know, a brand new one driving on the street, and it went over a speed bump and it was just squeaking like none other. The suspension was just so squeaky. It was ridiculous. For a brand new car, too. So I ruled that one out, and then my second choice ended up being a 350Z, and yes, those cars are fucking sweet, and I absolutely love them, and I actually really wish I had one right now. Like, I really love my TT, and I wouldn't trade it for one now, but if I could go back in time, I would have waited a little bit longer until I could find one that I really liked, because the only ones that I could find that were under 10 grand were automatics and silver. But so the 350 didn't really work out, and so I was just kind of poking around other cars, you know, S2000s were kind of what I was looking at, and those would even be really easy to work on because they're Hondas, and whenever you see one that's worked on, it's just like so freaking sweet. But given the surprising cost of the TT and its insurance and all that jazz, I just thought it was the coolest car, and I love the way it looks. I love the interior. For being a 2001 car, it looks brand new on the inside. And for anyone who is wondering, the reason that I got into cars is because when I turned 16, my parents did buy me a car. They bought me a 2005 Dodge Neon, and I thought it was the sweetest thing ever. Around that time I had gotten that car, I had also met this boy, and yes, I got into cars because of a boy. He actually wasn't that into cars when we first met. He was mostly into, you know, like body work and painting rims and stuff like that. After a while of knowing him, he taught me some stuff about cars, and so I bought some headlights and some taillights for that thing, and we painted the rims on it multiple times. and we painted the calipers red, and it just looked like a big bag of rice. And it also at one point had a giant chrome muffler on it, which I thought was like the coolest thing ever, because I'm like, yeah, that's right, my car is hella loud right now, and it was still an automatic, so I didn't realize how shitty it was back then. But after a while, I decided I really didn't want it. I really, really wanted a car that I was proud of. You know, in the beginning I was, and just as many girls who get their, you know, 2005 Honda Civic, they think it's like the coolest car ever and it's so unique and all this stuff. But you never can really appreciate your car until you know exactly what's under the hood. And so as soon as I kind of started learning more and doing more things to the car, I realized that it was nothing special. It was a 2.0 liter nothing, basically, like barely over 100 horsepower. It was just, once I realized what it was just an average car. And at that point, I wasn't an average driver. Most people drive to get from A to B. I drive to drive. Screw A to B. I'm gonna go A to C to D to F to X, and then I'll get to B. So because I was like that, I decided I really, really wanted a new car. So I put that car up on the market, and no one freaking wanted it. And I thought I would get around $6,000 for it because it was in such perfect condition. There were no scratches on it because we had recently buffed it. And, you know, you really can never get as much as you want out of selling cars on Craigslist unless you have like a really sweet, rare car that everyone wants. But no one wanted this particular car, and so, but I was getting really desperate, and I found my car. I found my TT on Craigslist from this lady, and I decided I had to have it. Someone else is gonna get it. It's so cheap. You know, it's, how much was it? It was like $9,000. I got her down to 86 when I actually bought it, and I asked my parents, I begged my parents, like, please give me a little bit of a loan before I can sell the other car because I really, really want this car. And so in the other video I said my parents didn't buy my car. They didn't. Except for, they did buy the first car that I had that I only got $4,000 for. So the rest of it I actually paid by working as a lifeguard. That 1/3 of it or whatever came from my first car, which my parents did buy, but they did put it in my name when I turned 18. Like, that was their big present to me, was to put my name on the car. So I ended up buying my TT with borrowed money from my parents, and I feel so bad about that. But I loved that car so much, and I had it all through the summer. Unfortunately, I still had the other car, and I didn't sell it until, like, I probably had it on the market for about 4 months before I sold it, and 2 months of that I owned my TT. But so yeah, it's sold now, and that's all fine and dandy, and I am just so happy with my car. Anyway, this was kind of a long, unimportant video, just kind of explaining my car to you guys, because I got such positive feedback on that first video that I was so excited about. I thought I just had to make this. And my roommate finally left the room because she's always in here, but she finally left, so I was like, oh, hallelujah, I'm gonna make a video right now. That's actually why I made the video in the car last time. I wouldn't have done that normally, but since my roommate was like in here like she always is, I was like, okay, I'll just go sit out in my car in the parking lot and make the video. Yeah. So anyway, thanks for watching if you did. Give me more suggestions, like I said. I am really eager to make more videos about my car or about any car. If you want me to, like, talk about, like, my feelings for other cars, which I probably will end up doing because I have such strong feelings against cars, or for cars, you know, sometimes. Let me know in the comments, or you can send me a message, or you can Google Plus me. But yeah, so I'll make a new video this weekend. It'll be something about cars, but yeah, we'll see what it is. And so I will see you guys then.